Hey guys, my name's Nate Hibbert. Me and my brother Steven Hibbert run the WingMan Merch Community over on Facebook. I just wanted to thank you guys for showing interest and clicking on this Merch Monday call. We try to do one of these every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'd love to have you guys in that group to watch them live and get all your questions answered. We're just putting them up on YouTube here so we can make sure that we're backing them up and kind of archiving them here. So if you guys want to join that group, the link will be down in the description below.
Where were you at last Monday where this thing really didn't work and we were on like the fritz?
Last Monday, I was in North Carolina, in Carolina Beach, in the middle of a storm. At the end of that call, our power actually went out because the transformer blew up outside the window. I'm pretty sure you can see it on call, like transformers blowing up
yeah,
outside.
You're like, hey, something just blew up, and then it cut off.
So that was interesting. There's a whole crazy story behind that. We drove a vehicle out into the sand, and then it started raining, and the vehicle got stuck, and we had to make multiple trips and ask random strangers for help. Real fun time, real crazy adventure. And then since then, I've basically been on the road every day and hit a new state. South Carolina, Alabama, or not Alabama. I went to Atlanta. And so now today alone, I've hit 3 states, and I'm finally landed in New York in this awesome apartment that my family that I've never met owns. So met some family today, currently using an empty apartment that they have in New York City, which is fantastic. I'm super excited to be here. Unfortunately, I'll only be here for like 4 days, but this is already, I've been here for maybe 4 hours, and I already know like I'm going to come back here a ton.
Nice.
This is a really, really cool spot. And the fact that they just have an extra apartment that I can come and stay in is a huge benefit. Able to park right out front, like stuff that you just don't hear about in New York. Like I've never been here, but I can already tell like space is an issue. They have a backyard with like plants and gardens and stuff.
What part of New York? Upstate?
In Queens. No,
really?
In Queens. Yeah.
And there's a spot and a...
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Okay.
So
I wasn't jealous before, but now I'm getting a little...
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I'm so excited for this week just to be. So I don't know how much personal information you want on this call, but my mom grew up in this area. So my mom has like been in this apartment when she was a kid, like 15, 16, 17, and like growing up here. So like coming back here and seeing her just like being super reminiscent, even about like the garden in the back, and like remember playing in the street outside and like telling me a bunch of stories just like as we're walking around. It's like, oh, this is so cool. So yeah, this is super sweet spot, but the sound isn't perfect, so stick with us, please.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was very excited when Mom said she wanted to take a little piece of that road trip that you're doing with you, especially when she said she wanted to head up to. I don't think I knew you guys were stopping in New York, but she said Boston and then going up to New Hampshire. I thought that was going to be pretty cool. But the fact that you stopped at New York is pretty cool. I'm a little more jealous than maybe before because I had a slight option of going on that trip, and I was like, nah, I haven't seen my wife, so I was like, I'll just stay here. So torn. Very excited that I stayed home with my wife, but a little jealous currently that you're in a place that you can park in Queens with a yard.
Like I said, I'll definitely be back here, and I know you're more than welcome. So
nice.
Yeah, the next 3 days is just gonna be like fantasy land for me. Like I'm gonna be so happy. What's up, Tammy? What's up, Susan, Christy? Glad you guys are all here. I am more on top of it this week. Last week was a complete mess. Doing it off the iPad, couldn't see chat, couldn't do anything. This week I got my setup going, so I feel good.
Yeah, Blue Jeans wasn't working, which has nothing to do with your setup, but and my phone froze during that call. That's why I continued to talk for another 15 minutes before I realized.
Yeah, we left that call up because there's good information in there, but as far as like audio quality and video quality and us being like all over the place mentally, it was a rough Monday. But we're glad you guys are here this week. We're just gonna keep talking as we get more people in here, and numbers keep jumping, so that's exciting.
Nice. I guess we have not talked that much this week, and I did something, I think because I didn't have to have you think, don't do that. It was the first time I was like, you know what? I'm doing this, and I just sent it out there. I have been putting in a lot of hours, and not just in this group, but most of my hours have been put in this group, the VIP group, and just helping people in general. And when I see the people requesting to get in, and I see that, I think a bare minimum of wanting to be a part of a group or even an entrepreneur or something is 3 questions. They're not very difficult questions, but for some reason that rubs me the wrong way when I see people that don't even take a half a second to answer the questions in any way that would be beneficial to this group. So I do not let those people in. We have opened this group up to a lot more people and have been a lot more lenient with the people answering questions to let them in. But when I see those, like the guy that said no thank you, I was like, why bother? Like, what are you doing? We want to help you. How can we help you? No thank you? Then you should not be a part of this group. And the guy that just said money, 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 I was like, yes, the point of this group is to help you guys make money, but that's not the only part of this group. And I said this before, and I guess I'll make more posts about it because I have had people reach out to me and say, oh, we don't catch a lot of the live, but we do read most of the posts. So we are missing some of our audience when we just assume that everybody watches all the videos. But as much as Nathaniel loves merch, and I enjoy merch, it is a tool, and we leverage that tool to move forward. But ultimately, what I want this group to be is not just this year, and not just next year, or not just merch solely. I want it to be 5, 10, 15 years that this group is around. And I want this group to be based off of relationships, partnerships, so that's how I found success. That's how Nathaniel's found success. That's how we found success in life and in business, is just from good relationships with people. I feel like that's what we can bring to this community. I feel like even other people in other groups, when they talk about us, they go, oh, we don't understand what they're doing, but we know it's something different, and we think they think outside the box and do all these things, and they can't quite pin it down. But I think that's the core of what we're doing, is the relationships, friendships, how we reach out. And I will attempt to bring back Friday Hangouts because I really did enjoy that, and I feel like that's how the VIP group has kind of turned into just the Friday Hangouts. It's just like a week. We're just hanging out all week, and I super enjoy that, and I thoroughly enjoy everybody that's in that group, and that we are building cool businesses from that. It was supposed to be our idea and what we were going through, but as this thing has grown, it's grown into a whole new light. And I think just a lot of people in this group, that now that we've helped a lot of people inside this group, and just seeing how a lot of relationships have started to blossom, and this group has only been around for a handful of months, I feel like we are cultivating something special in this group. So a few people have reached out to me, not really positive or negative about the post, just addressing the post and just trying to see like, oh, is there something going on? No, there's nothing going on. It was just I worked a lot of hours. Something that's been bothering me for a long time that I've always kind of bounced off Nathaniel. Nathaniel's been the one like talking me off the ledge, and I was just like, well, he's not here now. I'm jumping. I want you guys to see the people that want to come in that we are not letting in, and just the amount of outside people that are involved in merch that we are kind of shielding our group against a lot of that. Because even when certain things happen and I go, what's going on here? And Nathaniel goes, no, okay, take a second and look at all of these other groups and see how their communities are. And just, I was going to say toxic, but that's not really necessarily the word that I want to use. How not as helpful.
I'll jump in here. Steven takes a lot of that stuff personally, just because of how much time we've put into this group, how confident we are in the content that we have, and for the future of this group. We went to 1,000,001 like local meetups for basically anything that we could go to. And when you go to those meetings, they make you stand up and like share your name and what you do, and like you're in front of, it could be 5 people, it could be like 50 people, but they make everyone stand up and share that. So they're like, you have to get over that like fear of public speaking, like right there in that instant. You have to come off like you know what you're talking about because you're representing your business to everybody there. Like if you can't speak in front of everyone, like the chances of someone coming up to you afterwards and be like, hey, I want to, you know, do this business with you or partner up with you in this way, it's like a little bit less. Like not saying it's not going to happen, but you want to be able to like present yourself in a good way. And that's kind of how we view these questions. Like if you can take 5 minutes and just answer 3 questions, and I know we've talked about it a bunch, but like, again, we kind of take this stuff personal because of our backgrounds and what we're trying to do for this group and how much we're actually trying to help every single person in here. I still take notes on everyone that I let in, like, so that if you guys ever message me, I kind of know where you're at. Like, the reason I'm asking what tier and things like in those questions is so that I can tailor questions to you when you ask me questions. Like, I have all that stuff categorized and logged. So we do, I don't know, we have talked about it a lot, and I think Steven just showing his frustration is, again, just us being real in this group. Like, if you guys can watch our not terrible, but if you guys can watch us have like technical problems and stuff last week Monday, like, you can kind of guess that everything isn't perfect behind the scenes either, and we kind of want to share that as well. So yeah, Steven posted that stuff without me like consulting me, which usually I'm like, I feel like you're like nitpicking or like making fun of people, but like, it is just frustration. We do want to share that stuff with you. So you guys can let us feel free how you feel about that. If you guys don't like us kind of like calling people out like that aren't in the group, then, I mean, we don't have to, but it is just kind of, I don't know, something that has bugged Steven more so than me. And that he just wanted to share. And like I said, like, you guys kind of get who we are, hopefully, at this point, and that we just share kind of openly and honestly with you guys, whether it's information about merch or success that we're having outside of merch or whatever we've kind of got going on. And this week, Stephen was just frustrated, and it's only Monday, so.
Well, I made that post, I don't even remember now, but it was last week when I didn't sleep because of all the other stuff that I was doing. But I think this is another good example of a good relationship. Me and my brother have a good personal relationship. We have a good business relationship. I am probably a little more rough around the edges because I am older and I've had a lot of life experiences that were not as easy as Nathaniel, I guess. I'll say it that way. So my demeanor is normally a little rougher. And I think that's why we pair up good together, because if it was just me in this group, a lot of people would be like, "Whoa, he's got he's been through some things." And it's not necessarily like how I want to come across, but that's just, I think, my teaching style. I do try to really help people, but if you're not putting forth the effort, that's when I really have no patience. And Nathaniel does a much better job at that. I think him especially wanting to be a lot more personal with each individual person is definitely his strong point. I feel like I'm teaching a large group of people, how do I do that the best? And Nathaniel is more on the one-on-one or even smaller group teaching. So I think our relationship is essentially what we're trying to teach you guys. Whatever you feel like you need help with, a person is out there with the same strengths or opposite strengths and weaknesses that you will be able to work very well with, and your business will start to thrive off of it. The same thing with hiring VAs and all that stuff. It seems very overwhelming in the beginning, especially, I mean, Nathaniel came and moved in with me, so it was a little different for me, but I almost had to be beaten over the head with it to go, okay, I don't have to do everything. I don't know if I was necessarily a control freak. I just I want it done my way, and somebody else could probably do it better, but then it's not going to be able to lead into all these other things that I want to do. But now after working with Nathaniel, I see, okay, he does do it better than me, and he does see my vision. And I think that was the missing link in what I was trying to understand. I think that's what we are trying to get across in the VIP group and a lot of other stuff moving forward is, how do you have your core business? How do you systemize it? And then how do you grow your vision, your business? And that's what I really like to help people with. And doing it through merch is very interesting because it is a very cool dynamic that you guys get to see inside of what we are doing. And I think that's why I feel a little more open to share, like, hey, these people are not getting in, and this is the reason why. And I want you guys to see that, to be a part of this, because it's the same thing. You get to see me and Nathaniel work together. Sometimes we had those Merch Monday calls before when they were actual business meetings, and we go, okay, that's not necessarily what we want to come across in the group, because yes, we need to have a business meeting, but it doesn't have to happen live on camera. So now we've done different things. And that was when Nathaniel moved out, instead of just being here 24/7. So you have seen like the progression of us growing, and it has been very quick. Like, we have not been doing this very long. So if you're looking for some guru spit polished, you're not going to get it here. But if you're looking for really what's happening, how I truly feel, how me and Nathaniel work together, that's what we're going to get. And we're going to do everything we can to help you find success, and success in merch. And then what I would love to do is continue to teach you guys, if you find success on merch, how to add just a few additional things to what I think a business is, so you have more legs on the table than just one.
Bam.
That's my rant.
I'm just on this call so you guys can see my background change every week. The audio levels change. But yeah, I hopefully you guys, we are getting across that we just want to be real with you guys. At some points we've been like, should we do this super professionally and try and tighten up everything up? But I think it's more relatable, and you guys have told us this, and that's why we keep doing it. Like, it's more relatable if we just show you exactly what's going on. I don't carry around like a green screen and pretend like I'm still back at Steven's house. Like, you guys are getting to see, and we plan on sharing, like, at least me sharing a little bit more of like personally what's going on, why I'm traveling so much. Like, I get that question quite a bit, and I don't really share any of that stuff, but I should. It's interesting, and I think it's motivating to like people. So all that stuff's coming. Again, like Steven said, we haven't been doing this for very long, and we like to at least calculate what we're doing. We don't necessarily take the time to make sure it is like perfect and professional, but we want to at least think about some of the outcomes, like jumping into a bunch of different opportunities, or trying to spread ourselves too thin, or like anything like that. Just because we've done it before and we've realized our mistakes, and now we've been a little bit more cautious about where we're putting our time. So, but hopefully you guys enjoyed Steven's little rant and can relate to that. Everyone's saying that they love the group and they love our authenticity. So again, we appreciate you guys. Yeah, like that's why we just keep it the way it is, because we've gotten such great feedback about it already. That is awesome. Do we want to jump into some business things like the monthly landing zone idea? Do you want to talk about that here? Is that ready? Is that not ready?
The idea is ready. The platform, however, is not ready. But I think we have a solution with Gumroad that should work. So I guess here's the idea. Nathaniel's art team is crushing it. We are able to tap into them and do a lot of art, and Nathaniel has found a way to offer it to this group. I had a team of VAs that I let go, and now since I'm building a backup, I would like to do the same kind of thing if it is a benefit to the group. So we always test some stuff before we kind of go full bore with it, but I would like to see, because we've given away some at giveaways, and I've helped some people that have just asked and they have found success with it. My thing was, I don't want to give away landing zones because there's so many other pieces to it that the landing zones by themselves are not going to be that much of a help. But Nathaniel pointed out the art is the same exact thing. Even if you have a really good piece of art, there's so many different things that you can do with it to find success or not have success, not necessarily just on the art. So I want to provide landing zones for people because a lot of people have reached out to me and say, hey, I love the ideas, I love all the teaching, I just don't have time, or I'm not analytical. The art is something that I can really do, but I can't get my head wrapped around the landing zones and the numbers. Like, that's just not my thing. I would love an option to get some. So I've heard the people. We wanted to wait until we had the website, but that is going to take time. There's no getting around it. We tried something that didn't work, but the Gumroad that we've been using looks like we should be able to use it for this idea. So I wanted to have it set up so that if you wanted to get X amount of landing zones per month, but that idea I don't think we can do through Gumroad. So what I'm going to do is make packs available. So I'm going to have 10 landing zones if you only want 10 landing zones, 25 if you want 25, 50, and 100. Now, we haven't priced all of this out because the idea before was to hire a VA for the amount of people that wanted to do it monthly, and now I'm having to figure out how do I make enough packs that do I need to hire a different VA to do that, or do I need to take a VA off of something else and have them do that solely, or is this something that we can do as we're doing everything else? That I don't know. Those are the shifting plates behind the scenes, but the idea is that if you are interested, PM Nathaniel.
Thanks.
And if I get enough feedback from it, and just tell them I'm interested in 10, I'm interested in 25, I'm interested in 50, 100. From that, I can roughly find out how I'm going to price it.
Yeah, so you guys can contact me throughout the week as you watch this replay or whatever. A question I already have is are those packs only going to be available for the individual? Like, so if I buy that pack of 10, am I the only person getting that pack?
Okay, so the full fleshed out idea is everybody would have their own thing because you would be hiring the VA pretty much monthly.
Their own pack, correct.
But right now, since it's just packs, I'm going to make packs of 10 and only sell, say, 5 of them. So only 5 other people would have that 10 pack. And then I'm going to limit out the packs right now. So that's the idea moving forward. So that's a good question. I should have brought that up. But if you are buying a 10 pack, the limit is going to be 5. Only 5 other people would have that 10 pack. And then if that gets sold out or sold through, then I would put another fresh 10 pack in there. The same with the 20, the 50, and the 100.
Okay, cool. And that shows up on Gumroad. Like as people buy it, it will say like only 2 left or whatever. So we can make like a pin post picture for that and just say if you're interested in keyword landing packs, click here, and then it will take you to the different options and all that. So yeah, cool. I can see how that will work on the back end. So if you guys are interested in that, you can message me right now or throughout the week. I'll open up a spreadsheet and put all your guys' names there, and then I'll push that to Steven and his team so that he can start making those. Is that possibly ready by next week?
I think it should be. I just would like to know a gauge where I say, oh yeah, I can do that. Because if we have like, I don't know, 100 people that say they want 100, then obviously it's going to take a little bit. Yes, it should be ready by next week. I'll say that.
All right, cool. So yeah, let us know if you guys are interested, just so we can kind of gauge how much work or how many landing zone packs we need to put together. And then we'll get that rolling and hopefully ready for next week. That's a pretty exciting idea. We've been working on that for a while, but just because of all the moving parts and our mental space, it now seems like it's a more fleshed out idea.
Yeah, when you showed me what you could do on Gumroad after setting up Stephanie's course, I said, I wonder if that would work. And we just kind of went back and forth. And then as you were out traveling, I was just kind of digging around and playing with that. I said, I think this will work because it tells the amount, and then it should tell me, and then I can just go and put another one in there.
Yeah, and there's different options and everything in there. That should work out. So that's kind of been the key that we were missing was Gumroad, which I feel like we say it every time we're on camera, but our website is kind of what we've been like putting most of our time and effort into to like figure out a solution for that problem. And we've like theoretically figured it out, but the coding and everything that we don't understand that goes behind that is what we're waiting on. It's cool that we're able to find other solutions while we kind of wait. And we didn't want to do that just because we were like, let's just wait till we have the one solution that we're looking for. But because of the time it's going to take and we want to serve you guys as quickly as possible, we're already trying to set that up. So that's exciting. I'm getting some messages already, so don't sleep on that opportunity. That is going to be happening, it looks like, next week.
I guess it was just from doing it before and kind of Frankensteining a few things together. That's why I wanted to wait for the website, and then finding an easier way of doing it. So it didn't have to go through me, then go to the VA, then come back to me, then go to you, then come back to me. It was like that was a nightmare to me. So Gumroad seems like I can just put it here and the people can have access to it.
Right.
And that was the thing with the website. That was what we were trying to do. So as long as we're not using 10 different tools to do one job and we can find 1 or 2 tools, then the idea can go through. But I think that's another thing working with you. Giving you the idea and then saying we could get it done this way, and then as we work through it, finding where the breaking point is. This is too many steps versus, okay, this seems like we should test this idea now and see if it will work or will not work.
Crystal Adams has 2 good questions. Can we match the landing zone packs and art pack? That is coming soon, PM. The problem with that is the landing zones that Steven's giving you is like the actual page. So you can take the information from that page, like pick one shirt from that page and say, hey, I want to take inspiration from this and I want the shirt to say this, and type it into the art form. So you can definitely do that, but we don't have a great way to tie them together and give discounts on like if you buy both of them at the same time, like things we want to do again in the future when we have the website set up the way we want. So if you're looking for like a deal on that stuff, that's not available yet. We want to flush out both ideas first, and then we'll kind of tie those 2 together. And the other question that she had is, what would the cost be? And Steven said at the beginning, we're not quite sure yet. We'll see how much interest there is, and then we'll see how much time it takes to VA and kind of do whatever's fair. But as you guys can hopefully see from everything else that we've offered, we try to keep our price low for everything.
Yeah.
Competitive is a better word. We try to keep it
I guess
competitive.
low is the honest answer.
Yeah.
Competitive is the more professional answer that we should be saying.
We try to keep our pricing competitive, especially when we're first starting out something, so that we can just make sure everything's working, and then as we see things are working, it goes up, or however that all works out. But yeah, well, I'll give you more information on that. Definitely next Merch Monday, if it's not done by then. I'd kind of be surprised if it's not done by then, honestly. But yeah, everyone says that sounds good. So, and like I said, getting a few messages in that ready. So excited about that, seeing that move forward. That's what we love, progress and success. And speaking of success, I'm getting better at those transitions. We love hearing your guys' success stories. Kind of with the frustration that Steven's had this week and last week, just being very scatterbrained and all over the place. Something that always, me and Steven like message each other as soon as we see stuff come up in the group is just like success stories. Christy actually absolutely killed it the last 2 Thursdays with like inspirational stuff, and that just makes us feel so good. And it's just a way to like validate what we're doing. Like, yes, we love what we're doing because it's helping us in our business and the partnerships that we're coming out of it are like fantastic. But really, it's just hearing people like, hey, I've been able to make money with this. Like, I'm finally starting to understand this. This is becoming a second income for me. Like things like that just completely change the game for us when we're like, okay, like let's dig deeper into this. Let's figure out how we can bring more value to people. Because not very long ago, like we were struggling with this stuff. And so now that we feel like we've figured it out and figured out some cool ways to use merch, we definitely want to share that as much as possible to see other people have success with it and even learn how other people are growing their merch business just past doing organic and things like that. So we absolutely love seeing your success stories. And so my action step for you guys this week is kind of a little confident booster to everybody. It's just we want you guys to share your stories a little bit more this week. If you have a shirt that sells X amount of times, like we want you guys to post that stuff. If you're out and about talking to people and some opportunity comes up, like we just want to hear about how you guys are having success, what your success looks like, and really if there's anything else we can do to help you guys. We're trying to hit a lot of different things and try to teach you guys kind of a wide span, but knowing what you guys are having success with like helps us understand like, okay, we taught it this way and maybe you caught it, but because everyone learns differently and sometimes people need to hear things multiple times, we want to be able to like go back and teach on that a little bit deeper or clear it or even teach it in a different way, clarify it, things like that. So
yeah, I thought it was very interesting when Stephanie came on and she said some stuff that we were talking about for the last, I don't know how many weeks. And then people were messaging her and saying, oh, I finally got what they were talking about when you said it. And it is kind of weird. And I see that a lot. Like when I'm teaching people, it's something, it doesn't click. But then when somebody else says it, it clicks. Or it's even vice versa. Like if I hear you saying something over and over and over again, and then as soon as I say it, then they get it. It's something about that. Like you just need a different point of view or just said slightly different to where the light bulb goes off. And I think having this group and having this community and seeing people say, oh, like Christine who said, hey, I was at the hospital and I just was asking this person and this is what came out of it. It makes it more relatable to go, oh, it's not just those two guys doing it. Like I see more people are doing it. So I know this is a real thing. And I think that's where my passion comes from, is because of all the things that we have failed at. We're finding success and helping people. And I get to see all the people we're helping and the group necessarily doesn't see all that. It's hard to like, when I'm going, yeah, you can do this, and this, and people are looking at me like, he's all over the place, man. Like I'm stuck here. How come I can't get past this point? We try to do everything we can to make it so you're not stuck. That's why we kind of give the action steps, so we're pushing you all the time. But more interaction from you guys, even if you say, oh, this is just a small thing, I finally get my first shirt sale, that's a huge impact on somebody else that hasn't had any sales yet. Right. No matter where you're at in the chain. I mean, I talk about this more in like the masterminds and stuff that I do, but I almost see it as like we're all climbing up a mountain. I am reaching up in front for people that are farther than me. They're helping me up. So I'm reaching back and helping people behind me up more. But I can't necessarily reach all the way back to a person that hasn't sold any shirt and doesn't even know like how to do a listing. I've done everything I can to help them, but me trying to yell down to them, they can't hear me. But somebody that's just got their first sale, it's easy for them to go, hey, I just got my first sale. Do like this. And then it's so much more encouraging that everybody can start moving up the mountain.
Yeah, and again, we've seen that happen in our community, and we've had people like message us like, "Hey, us three have been talking about this, and I've talked about one of your videos and fully understand it now." So we love just having that kind of success. And I remember I was doing merch by myself when I first started out, and I remember just like digging through Chris Green's group, just looking for people having success and kind of what they were saying about it. So that stuff definitely does help. Like after you get your first T-shirt sale, then it kind of, things start clicking in your head like, oh, this worked, let me double down on that. But until you have those first sales or, whatever milestone you're trying to hit, it definitely helps to know that there are other people out there, especially in this group where we try to be, open and honest of just people finding success and actually, hitting those milestones that they want and, are able to say, hey, I want to hit 500 in 6 months and see people do it. Like that's so encouraging, not only just for us, but we know for other people too, because they're telling. That is my action step for you guys this week, is just to be sharing what's working for you in the group. I'm excited to see what comes out of that. Anytime we ask you guys to do something like this, I feel like you guys kill it. And it is just a huge source of inspiration. So we're looking forward to that. All right. We've got a few questions that we wanted to answer. I don't know if I can answer this one in a quick and easy way, which is why I haven't. But James Sykes asked why I am a road dog. I'm assuming that's someone who travels a lot. It's mostly just because the opportunity is here. And like I said, I'll talk about that more upcoming weeks when I kind of wrap my head around how I want to present that idea. But there have been a lot of really cool opportunities that have been open to me this year. And traveling as much as I am is one of them. So I've just been trying to take advantage of that since I have always loved traveling, but I've never been able to just leave home for 4 months and just like constantly go a bunch of places that I've always like dreamed of going and wanted to go and kind of planned out in my head. But now it's like every week I get to go, almost every day I get to go to like a new awesome place. And merch has been a big part of that. The opportunities that have come out of this group have been a big part of that. So I do want to share that stuff more openly with you guys, but I don't know how to wrap my head around that because I just tend to ramble on and like get lost in some like childhood story about, oh, when I was 5, I remember thinking about New York and now I'm here. Like that's probably not the most interesting things to everyone. So I got to get better at like storytelling and production and things like that. But yeah, Steven keeps encouraging me, like, you should just be posting pictures of like at least where you're staying or where you're shooting the Merch Mondays and things like that. And so
yeah, because it's inspiring to me, and I think we should probably do a better job in this group expressing like us, our failures, where we came from, so it's a little more relatable. Also, I think because I'm a little more guarded, and because I don't like share my feelings too much, and just all the stuff that we've gone through, I don't want this to be like a woe is me type of group. Like I try to keep it as positive and moving forward as much as possible, but sometimes I think it is helpful to see like, oh, those guys started here. And like Nathaniel kind of hinted at, this was not always roses and fairy tales. Like he was not able to go and drive anywhere just due to certain things. So we should be talking about like, I think we said it before, your accident, what actually happened, why you had to move in with me, why mom ended up having to move with me, what we were actually doing at the time. I was having success in other places, but then we switched completely over to a new business style. And just everything that came of that, just like our origin stories of how this whole thing came about, so that when you do talk about like where you're at and what you're doing, it's even more inspiring. I think that's why I get jazzed up so much about it, because I remember all the things we've been through to where it's at now, and I'm just like elated. Like anything that you're doing is just so amazing to me, just because of all the stuff that we've been through and being in the trenches. And I think that's why we have a true passion for helping people. We understand how difficult it is, especially to start when you're behind in everything. You find it like nothing is going good. You just need a hand. And that's what we're trying to be, is just that like first hand to help you move forward, and then just keep that forward momentum, because business is hard. I'm not here to lie to you, say, oh, merch is easy. You just throw up a t-shirt and nothing. It's difficult. I know it's difficult. So that's why we're trying to give you everything we can to help you find success. Finding the landing zones is something that I could have kept to myself, that I saw nobody else talking about. Doing the way that Nathaniel's doing it. knowing that he's been in the t-shirt business for how many years. That's something that we could have kept to ourselves, but we just thought, oh, there's so many people that need our help. How can we help these people? And then we were just PMing people. Then we started helping a lot of people. And then I quickly found out, like, oh, I can't help everybody. I think that's just a part of helping. Like, as soon as you don't have the desire to continue to move forward, I can't help you. Like, I'm not going to do it for you. And that's where my, like, frustration shines through. That's when Nathaniel needs to go, oh, okay. That's not everybody. That's just a one-off. Let's keep moving forward instead of me just, like, attacking. So we should do a better job of our story. We should do a better job at explaining what the origins were to where we're at now, to the things that we are trying to do. And I think the same thing with moving forward. We are very cautious to say, these are all the things that we're working on, because we quickly kill off a lot of things, because if we grow and we will not be focused. And it's hard to, like the website. The website is something for sure we're going to do. We have a lot of things like the website that we're working on, but we don't want to say anything, because then it sounds like we're the snake oil salesman. We're coming out with this, we're coming out with this, and we're doing this, and then it's just like, I don't believe these guys, because they've been talking about this forever and nothing is getting done.
Yeah, like the landing zone idea. Like, I'm sure we've mentioned that before, but it's never really come to fruition. Like, we've even done small test runs and things like that. But
yeah, we tried it. We definitely tried it, and people that took part of it, and they had nothing but good things to say. It just was Frankenstein, and so we killed it. Yeah. We're not afraid to do something and kill it, for sure.
But we definitely don't want to say, like, all the stuff we're attempting to do that's, like, so far down the pipeline. Like, yeah, you guys would get so frustrated with this.
You're trying to go to Mars? Like, I'm out of here.
Christine says to stop apologizing. Something else we've been accused of doing too.
Yes. We're trying. We're getting better.
All right. We're going to answer some more questions. Sean Elliott asked, where do you get artists from and how do you set up deals with them? I'll talk on this. I get my artists from onlinejobs.ph. They're technically VAs, so they're over in the Philippines. But you can get artists from anywhere. I mean, I've worked with artists that I found on Instagram or even locally at art shows, which is a really cool place to talk to people, especially if you're good at face-to-face stuff. So you can find artists a lot of different places. It depends what you want from them. I will say that the local artists that I found in Florida are not producing, hundreds of designs for me every day. They'll like something when they get inspired after like some cool event happens, and they'll tell me about it and explain all the background behind this like one piece of art and why they want to put it on a t-shirt. Thankfully, they usually have an audience that's interested in that stuff. So even just saying like I work with an artist can be a very big spectrum of deals that you. If you're looking for someone to help you fill slots and can create like good content daily, definitely look at Online Jobs BH. There's just a lot of really good people on there, and most of them I found have spoken or speak. I don't even speak good English, but they speak good English, so they're easy to communicate with. Yeah. So exactly how I set up in deals and everything like that, I can share with that a little bit more, probably one-on-one. But the basic idea is I ask them kind of what they're looking for and what if they're able to produce. This is speaking to VAs, and that really puts the ball kind of in their ballpark, however the saying goes. Because that way you're not undercutting them, and you're not going to like overpay them, even though that sounds kind of weird to like overpay someone much. But yeah, I've found that's been the best way to like kind of conduct the deals. Like, how many pieces of art can you do? What would be something that can help you live monthly? That's how I pay my VAs, so I can have your time, so you can do this. Things like that. Just asking simple questions like that have really helped me. Yeah. So the other part of that question was, how do you set up a deal with them? Yeah. So basically, that you just want to ask them what you can do to help them, and that usually brings about the best deals. And how I've gotten my art pretty low, how we can do like $5 deals and things like that. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm sorry if I'm constantly looking around this room. At the beginning of the show, I realized this apartment comes with a cat, and it's just all over the place. So I'm sorry if I look like I have like ADD because I'm constantly looking around. But there's just a cat like roaming around, and it's not like a small little like house cat. It's like a baby panther just roaming around in this room with me. That just came out of nowhere. So I was a little, I don't know if I like caught the moment on camera when I realized there's a cat in here. I was a little surprised. eye on it. I love cats, but this one looks a little mean. All right, moving on to the next question. Dave Adams asked, how do people promote their designs? Are you relying on organic traffic for good keywords, or do you actually promote them with ads, social media, etc.? He was thinking about hiring someone to do all the promotion for them. I'll let Steven speak on this because he's the data guy.
Yeah, I would be very cautious unless you understand the core business. And I guess that's my launching off point to like anybody asking me questions now is how confident are you in understanding traffic, understanding art, and understanding keywords? Because Amazon is a huge platform that has a lot of traffic. If you're having trouble selling on that platform, I would not be in a hurry to start spending money to capture traffic because there's a lot of organic traffic on Amazon. Now, if you have a better understanding of a different platform and you feel as if you can trust a VA or something like that to do the ads, that might be an option to you. That's not something that we really teach on because you can get in. It's very expensive to run ads if you don't know what you're doing. And I am very cautious to tell anybody anything that's going to cost you a lot of money if you don't understand what you're doing. And if I can't find a good way to explain it to somebody that does not know what they're doing, to not have them spend a lot of money. I just did a class with Jenny that we talked about ads and sponsored ads and working with people in partnerships. And I went into a lot of depth into running sponsored ads on Amazon. Now, I'm going to say you can't run ads on merch shirts on Amazon. There is a hack or a black hat tactic to get around that, but it's not a tool that we talk about because it's not necessarily what Amazon wants happening currently. Now, will that change? I'm sure it will. Amazon loves making money. Running ads on stuff is something that they make money on. I'm sure that that's going to come at some point. But I would say focus more on organic traffic on Amazon. Learn the keyword side. Learn just the landing zones that we've been talking about because that's how to get your shirt in front of eyeballs. And then if you're able to get on the first page of a lot of the ones that you're targeting and you're not getting sales, I would then dig into your art or something else is the cause of why maybe you're not selling. I know it's, again, very overwhelming in the beginning because there's so many moving parts, but this is a business of selling shirts. If you don't know what good shirt art is, then you have to learn that. If you don't know what keywords are, you have to learn that. There are parts of a business that you have to learn, and then eventually you can make a system for it, and that's hopefully what we're teaching. But I'd be very cautious running ads. Our business is almost all organic traffic. We partner up with people, so I guess that's not necessarily organic traffic, but we don't currently run ads on Facebook, on Amazon, on anything because we don't feel that it's worth it. And there are much better ways to sell more shirts than paying money, especially if you don't fully understand the platform that you're attempting to use.
So that was a really good answer. To put my 2 cents on it, and something that Chrissy just said in chat is don't overthink it too much. Merch is a fantastic platform that is free. So you can launch as many shirts. I mean, even if you're at tier 10 and you want to change those 10 out every week, like that's free. It doesn't cost you anything. So don't be afraid to try new things. Now, obviously, you don't want to be doing things that are copyright, like trying to put like Superman's logo on a shirt or anything like that. But don't be afraid to try new stuff and kind of think outside the box when it comes to just starting out. You might be surprised by the things that work for you. And they might only work for you. So, you might not see anyone else talking about it, even though it's something that you tried. So, yeah, don't overthink it. Don't feel like you have to perfect like this one listing before you post it. The shotgun effect does work, and it is something that you should try to understand. Even if you want to make like super specific branded t-shirts, like kind of doing a shotgun effect to see what's working inside of that brand still helps out a lot. So, yeah. Don't become a perfectionist like I was when I started. Is basically what I'm trying to get out there. It was a huge mistake, and yeah, if that was like one thing that I would change, there's a million things that I would change about when I first started. Obviously, now that I know more, but I would say that was like one of the biggest things that held me back was just trying to be too much of a perfectionist, taking all day on one design, not even looking at the keywords that I was putting up because I didn't understand that part. But just don't try to become too much of a perfectionist and not put things the key as well. All right, Jim Waltz asks, I'm new to this group. I'm still trying to figure out landing zones and all the steps involved. I've seen 3 short videos, the series of videos that we put out. Is there more components involved? If so, what are they? Thanks. I think I can answer this, and Steven, if you want to add your 2 cents on the end of it. But in our pin post, we've made a really good video. It's Steven talking for an hour, kind of about his tactic for keywords and understanding landing zones. We called that the Wingman approach, the data side. And that does, I think that's one of the best trainings out there for understanding kind of keywords in general for merch. But it definitely explains the way that we do things. So if you see us talking about landing zones or different, results on the page and things like that, if you're confused about that at all, that Wingman approach video will definitely clear those things up for you. So if you want to learn more about the keyword side of it, which is a huge part of merch, I definitely suggest checking out that video. That will clear things up for you. All right, there was one more question we had that I saw I want to answer. If we don't get to your question tonight on this show, please feel free to leave them in the comments still. We try to get to most of the questions, and if you're watching on the YouTube or replay or whatever, just leave a question wherever you can. We'll try to get to it.
Yeah, and if you're on YouTube, come join the group.
Yeah,
answer
definitely.
the questions, or else you will not be coming in. If you're answering it in a way that you want me to screen grab it and add it to the group so we can look at it, feel free.
I'll tell you a secret. I'll tell you a secret. If you're on YouTube, tell us that you came from YouTube. Steven sends me those and he's like, hey, look, YouTube's working. So there's your little secret. If you're on YouTube and you want to get in the group, just at the last question, just say, hey, I saw your awesome videos on YouTube. Great job editing, Steven.
That will help,
I guarantee you'll get it. All right, the last question was from Corey Lewis. The search term is put into Amazon. Oh, this search term is put into Amazon and returns with 106 results, the lowest rank of 490K. Now Merchant Words is telling me the merchant monthly search is 98,000 per month, and Scope is calling me it's 6,000. Basically, what he's asking is why he's getting so many different results from different plugins, and I'm definitely letting Steven answer this one because he understands that way better than I do.
Yeah, I think I'm not 100% if I follow the question, but I think when they're typing something in the search bar, the results on page is 160, and then they're going to Merchant Words and Scope and pulling the traffic. Is that what's going on there?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
He's just asking, why is that happening? And then what's the best way to validate that? If you cannot do the hour-long training video right here, that would be fantastic. But a short summary of why that's happening.
The short answer is whatever you type into Amazon search bar and they give the results, that is what we're teaching people to look at. Because people consistently say, hey, when you're typing in things to the search bar, and the results come up, Amazon is showing what they think you want to start. As soon as you start digging deeper into that, they're going to continuously throw things at you. So that's why you're going to see those results numbers climb, because then they're going to try to give you as much as they can to satisfy what you're looking for so that you buy something. So when we're teaching, hey, the results have to be under 5,000 or find your results that you want to work with, the first number that comes up, that's the number we are concerned with, because that's the number that they associate with what you typed in. Now, as far as Merchant Words and other tools that show traffic, those tools don't have the information. Amazon doesn't give that information out, so they are doing an equation to guess. So why Scope is different than Merchant Words, different than Google, even though Google doesn't say a number, they just give a weird 1 to 100, which is kind of weird. But any of those tools, they don't have actual data. They're just trying their best to guess at what the number is. So I would only concern myself with one of the tools. So if Merchant Words says a number, I would use that as the measuring stick for other words that I'm going after. So say if you type in cat shirt and it says 100,000 per month, and then you type in cat mom shirt and it says 80,000 per month, I would say, okay, cat shirt is searched more then mom shirt. Not necessarily the difference between those two numbers, just the fact that one is more than the other. I would not be trying to gauge merchant words numbers versus scopes numbers, because that is futile. Yeah, that's a nonsensical game you're playing, because both of them run different equations on the information that they can pull.
Good. That was nicely summarized.
Get better. Getting better. That's all we're working with here. Just, is today better than yesterday? Yes. Perfect.
All right, like I said before, if we don't get to your question, we're going to keep pushing since we've been almost on and on for an hour. But feel free to leave them, and we'll try and get back to those questions, definitely.
Nothing's blowing up.
Yeah,
I can see you. It's
nice.
Better.
All right, so second to last thing we're going to do is the shoutouts. These are kind of from the last 2 weeks, because last week's show ended pretty early.
Abruptly.
Yeah, we didn't get to these.
Is that a Bob?
So first and foremost, thank you, Natalie Straw. She made and has continued to make awesome little case studies on our content, and they're saying that what we're doing is helping, so that looks good on us. But the research and the time that she's putting into...
That's a shout out for us. Is pretty much what you did right there. I like your style, brother. The old pat on your back.
The research that she's putting in and the time to even write out the long posts that she's making has been super enjoyable for me to read. I hope that you guys are reading them. Working for her. Again, what's working for us isn't necessarily going to work for everybody else. We think that we've created a really good system that we've been able to multiplicate. That's not the word I'm looking for.
Duplicate?
We've been able to replicate on multiple different accounts. So that's why we feel confident in teaching it. But again, it's not the only way of doing this thing. And the tips and tricks that she's giving is awesome. And Steven even kind of added to this when we were talking, like, oh man, we can take all these skills and take them to Etsy. I know that's something we've been talking to a lot, but a lot of the same kind of ideals work over on Etsy too. So if you're not having success on merch, you can take the same exact shirt and you can try the same keywords, and people are having success over there. And they're like, I put this thing up on merch and it's been dead. Excuse me. And I put it on Etsy and I'm getting sales every day. So definitely don't sleep on Etsy. I don't know why I keep saying that. Don't sleep on Etsy. There is opportunity over there. But yeah, thank you so much.
All the research that you're doing with merch, it's just very competitive over there. So if you can find something that's working very well on Amazon and take it over to a less competitive space, you should, in theory, have success. Now, the people that are going to both of those spaces might be looking for something different, but we have noticed that people are having success on Etsy. The same with having success on merch, but it seems like sometimes when shirts die on merch because it's too competitive, there's no competition on Etsy, and it's very easy to compete when you're the only fish in the pond instead of being the big fish in a pond.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys understand that we wouldn't be talking about it like this much if we didn't think that it was actually stuff working over there. So again, just go check that out. But yeah, thank you, Natalie, so much. I love reading those. I love seeing the success that you're having with them. And hopefully that just continues to grow and your case study continues to grow as well. I think Steven even made you your own little tag, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's awesome. If you want to see all of her old posts, you can go to the tags in the group, which are at the top to the right if you're on desktop. If you're on mobile, I'm not quite sure because I don't really look at Facebook on mobile. But yeah, she's done, I think this is maybe her third or fourth at this point. And they've all just been fantastic. So thank you so much. I actually have the link here, so I'm going to post that in the group.
Yeah, I appreciate anybody that's taking the time to post and actually write things out, because I think that is a portion of our audience that we are doing an injustice to, because we do a lot of videos because that's the way how we're wired.
Exactly. How we learn.
Yes, and people that are more visual learners by actually reading information, that case study is extremely powerful because it is a lot of what we're doing broken down into easy to read steps and then a process and then a follow-up the next few months out. So I want to say thank you to anybody that's doing that. It is a huge benefit for this community.
Yeah, it does help us out a lot. Like Steven said, it helps us reach just a different not community, but a different part of our community. There's a better word for that, but I'm trying to do too much right this second. All right. Sorry.
Copy and pasted.
I'm trying to look something up for someone to answer their question. I'm doing it live, which is not good. I will get the answer. I'll ask the question. Where's the Etsy course and where can they find it? I thought I had the link for it on hand, but I will grab that as soon as I get a second and post it in the group.
The first video was free. I really liked how we did that because Stephanie is somebody that was in this community that we saw she was having success. We partnered up with her. I saw what she did, and I was very impressed. So that I said, hey, why don't we partner up on this and then show the people the first one for free? The first full video of that, I think it's 4 parts, is free in this group. So if you see that and you find value in that, the rest of the course is only, I believe, $10. It's not very much, but it does walk you through. She does a much better job at teaching than us. And this is why partnerships are very powerful, because I feel like I have a lot of knowledge, but I don't have a good way to give it to the people. But with Stephanie, she has a very easy to follow, using I was going to try to think of the name of that program. But whatever program she's using is amazing for that. And as soon as I saw her do that, I said, I'm never going to do that. She now has to do this. So we want to work with her so that she can help us and we can help her. And I think that's how a lot of our partnerships are formed. Are just like that aha moment. We get that aha moment a lot when we go, hey, we're doing this thing. We're getting better at it. And then we just see somebody do something like leaps and bounds better than what we even thought was possible. And then we go, oh, we immediately need to find a way to work with that person, because then we can then take our whole business to the next level.
Right. Again, partnerships. It's what we've built most of our business off of at this point.
Friendships, partnerships.
Even inside this group, that's not something that we thought of. Like, oh, we're going to create this group, and but it just so happened to work out that way, that there are awesome people in our group, and we're able to partner even with people that we're trying to teach and learn from them. So yeah, that has been fantastic.
I had a blast having Stephanie on, and I want to do that more with people in our community. So there are a few more people that I want to tap on the shoulder. I don't want to feel like I ever force them to do it, but I'm going to put a little squeeze on them.
All right, next shout out was Christy. Again, sorry, this shout out is kind of from last week, but we didn't want to skip her. She shared her deal that she made at the hospital. And that was just super encouraging. Even to me and Steven, we kind of watched that right after each other. And we were both just messaging back, oh man, that's so awesome. Someone talking about, what we're teaching, someone taking action on what we're teaching, having success with what we're teaching. That was just so incredible for us to hear and to have the video just to hear you talk about it instead of just a post. Again, me and Steven are more visual video learners. So that means a little bit more to us, but yeah, that was just so fantastic. So we just wanted to shout you out, say thank you for taking the time to put out that video, and just congratulations on doing that. Hopefully that just builds so much more confidence in you. So every time you go out, you're just looking for those opportunities, and the word starts to spread that you're kind of the person who can help out with that. Oh my gosh, it just is such an awesome snowball effect when you become that person who's known for helping out, charities and nonprofits and stuff like that. It's so much fun to be in that position, and hopefully, like I said, that thing starts to snowball for you. That will just be.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you, because I know how much of a big step it is to get on camera. Because if you go back and watch our old videos, we had no right to be on camera. So it is just a big learning and getting over a lot of fears to even get on camera and then continuously do it. And hopefully you can see us and go, oh, they have gotten a lot better. It's still not maybe a high production piece that we're putting out, but it's much better than what we started. And I know the first time we were doing it, it was a lot of us being very uncomfortable, not really knowing what we're doing, stumbling all over the place. I'm slouching way back. I'm gangster lean driving a car. I look like I just robbed a bank. It was all bad, but thankfully people stuck with us and were hey, you're doing pretty good. And I was I don't know what they're watching. And they would just say nice things maybe you should sit up. Maybe you should look at the camera. Maybe you should shave yourself and make yourself look a little more presentable.
We love hearing you guys encourage us, but we are not afraid of positive critical.
Any kind of feedback, criticism,
Yeah, critical feedback.
Yeah. We are trying to always get better.
Yeah. All right. The last shout out we had is Zillis. Hopefully I didn't kill your name. I'm sorry if I did. But you helped out Jezza Smith, who asked a question in the group. And that is why I love this community so much. I feel like I talk about it quite a bit, but you guys are always just willing to help each other out. If there's a question that's asked in the group that you feel you can answer, please answer. Don't feel like you guys have to wait on us to put our 2 cents in. You guys are usually more on top of this group than we can be because we don't get notifications for some reason, and me and Steven aren't constantly on Facebook like we used to be. So it's just so fantastic to have people in this group helping each other. Even if you're just pointing someone in the right direction, it helps out so much. It makes people feel like, oh, there's people in this community that want to help me. We haven't seen anyone get run out of the group by people or, hey, that's a really dumb question. Why would you ask that? We haven't seen any of that negativity that I see in a lot of other Facebook groups. So thank you, Zillis, so much for just pointing that person in the right direction. And if you see a question that you think that you can answer, definitely don't be afraid to just put your 2 cents in, even if you're quote unquote wrong or say something that's not 1,000% true or whatever. Just the effort that you're putting in to help somebody can make a huge difference. Even Stephanie, someone that we keep talking about that we're so happy that we're getting to partner with, the thing that she said was different about this group was people were just helping each other. We reached out to her personally and just sent her a message and said hey, welcome to the group. Things like that go so much farther than we can even understand and bring opportunities that you can't even fathom. So that stuff really, really does help out. So we appreciate that so much. So now that we're at 9:05, I like to keep these to an hour. Everyone complains that we go too long, and we always keep going longer.
Every time we try to keep it at 30 minutes, the only way we keep it at 30 minutes is if a transformer blows up.
Yeah, if my power cuts us off at 30 minutes. All right, but to wrap this thing up, we just want to tell you guys about what's coming up this week, and we just want to talk about the Wednesday video. Again, my action step is for you guys to be sharing more of your success in this group, even if it's not necessarily on merch, if it's on Etsy or another print on demand, or even a different part of your business. All that stuff still helps encouraging people to try and find success online. So we love hearing that. And then our Wednesday video is going to be about how we have teaching and helping others. I'll let Steven speak on that for a quick second before we completely wrap the show up. But
it was more. I haven't gotten this question in a long time, but people asking us to share our numbers, and I just kind of clicked that, and then I'm going to put that as the Wednesday video because I think it does a good job of explaining how we feel about the group, kind of to go along with our call tonight, how I was feeling last week. It just was a good wrap up to express how we feel about just helping people in general and why it is that we don't necessarily share a number, even though really nobody asks anymore. And just we truly want our success to come from other people's success. And I think the fact now that we are directly working with people inside this group, it's very difficult for people to say anything to me now that made me go, oh, maybe we should do this or that. We are having a lot of success in what we are attempting to do, and we are constantly learning and trying different things and finding more and more success. So if somebody goes, oh, you guys had to do this, it's very difficult for me to go, oh, maybe I should consider that. I go, nah. I think the biggest thing was going to Texas and having a lot of other presenters, people that ran groups for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, telling us how we had to do things, and then coming back to this group and then expressing how we felt. And then now, what was it, 3 months now? April, May, June?
Yeah.
In 3 months, I feel more validated in our stance and how we were doing things, and seeing how this group has continued to grow. The culture that we've built here continue to go in the direction that we want it to go, and us not having a lot of problems that they have makes me feel very confident in what we are doing. Might not be the best, but we are continuously moving in the right direction. And again, just getting people's feedback from this group, I think we do a very good job at listening to what people are saying and kind of adjusting our approach. That's why I didn't put that post out there to go say, oh, I wonder how people are going to feel about this. I felt that way, and I posted about it, and I had some feedback on it, and it wasn't positive or negative, just again, just questioning some things, which I like. I want that stuff to come to me so I can say, okay, this is kind of why I did it. Okay, I didn't do a very good job because I didn't explain it properly. And even how I wrote it wasn't clear. Like they didn't understand even what I was doing. And then after they saw me put an example or two, they go, oh, okay, now we kind of see it. That is funny. We appreciate you keeping these people out. So I felt, again, good with the relationship, the culture that we've built in here to be able for you guys to reach out to us, that we continuously try new things with you guys, and that the vision that I have is becoming more clear, and we are moving in that direction. And like I said, it's not the today, the tomorrow, this year, next year. It's 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. Merch might be hot now. It might fiddle out. But regardless, the teaching, the way that we're teaching, the understanding that we're giving you guys can be applied across a lot of different platforms and deeper inside Amazon. And that's what I'm really excited about, because when you're able to find success on merch, and then when we have the years laid out and we go, hey, when you have this much success, try this and try this. And if this doesn't work out for you, you can adjust it this way, and then have all those videos backlogged. And that's what we are attempting to do, is build up all the resources so that we can start filtering it out to you guys, so that we can start just like how we started. We had a pre-flight video, then we added to it. Now the next part we had a clear vision for, but because of the VIP, thankfully the VIP group showed us a much better, clear vision. So we said that is a much better way to go. So now we are just course correcting a little bit to go, this is definitely the way we should move forward. Why did we even think that was the best way? Yes.
All right.
That should be a slogan.
We're like FUBU. As a perfect cherry on top, I'm going to give Jim Waltz a gold star for kind of starting out the action step in this chat. He said, even though I recently discovered your videos explaining Landing Zone, I can tell you that I already sold a shirt as a result. So, again, we absolutely love knowing that you guys are having success with this stuff. It's just a battery in our back to keep moving forward, keep producing good content, figuring out the best way to teach you guys, how to interact with you guys. We've said it a million times, we don't come from a background where we're even comfortable being on camera. So we're happy with the results that we've had so far, but we just love hearing what you guys are doing, what you're finding success with, and it just helps us out so much and helps out other people in the community. So on that note, thank you guys so much. I am looking forward to all the success stories that I'm sure are going to get posted this week, and the video on Wednesday hopefully explains some more things to you guys, and then we'll see you next on their next WingMan merch show.
Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate this group. Everybody have a great week.